C'est mon quatrième jour à Paris. This is my fourth day in Paris. And today I'm going to the Champagne region of France. So I got to my meetup point for my tour and I got a croque monsieur, which is a ham and cheese sandwich.
In Europe, in Reims. So we'll drop there and have a little visit of the cathedral. After that, we'll head to the smaller house, to Michel Fagot house, and visit the Michel Fagot house.
I didn't get to see L'Arc de Triomphe on my other days in Paris, and look where we drove. Right beside it. God goodie. To my right is Musée d'Orsay, and to my left, we passed by
And
the
you
Louvre.
might have heard of the theft that happened in the Louvre. Yeah.
And the measures that they put, which was basically a fence to, add some protection. This was actually, I think you said it was a castle where Louis lived, if I'm not mistaken, and it's now the French courthouse. So we drove this, the views from here were just so serene. I love nature, so it was just a nice vibe. So our first stop was Reims, and he told us that this was the financial capital of France back in the day, which was, a pretty cool fact to note. And then we got to this cathedral, which was huge. The history behind this, a lot of bombings took place during World War. So it's interesting that the building is still standing. Of course, they would have done some restorations and stuff, but by and large, it was still standing. So he gave us the map of the places that we would be going today. And after that, he gave us some time to explore this area and inside the cathedral. I want to emphasize that this cathedral was absolutely huge. I had to put my camera in 0.5 to even capture everything in one frame. And when you zoom up, the detail on, the ceilings and everything, it's very interesting how they were able to do all of this like back in the day. And I'm noticing a common thread across a lot of buildings, monumental buildings that I've seen here in France. There's a lot of sculptures and artwork on the ceilings, and a lot of the sculptures have a meaning behind it, and it's usually rooted in like faith. I thought this quote was interesting. It says that the church is not only for the saints but for the world, which is true. So I explored the cathedral, looked at the different sculptures, paintings. This one was supposed to be of Christ's crucifixion, a representation of Jesus on the cross there. And then after the cathedral, I walked around the town. I found a hotel. Took pictures, of course. Just the girl. Felt very cute seeing this outfit. Okay, this is the outfit for today. The jacket is because it's a bit cold out. This restroom is in a hotel. Thank God they have soap and lotion because I wash my hands and my hands are dry. This entire outfit is actually from Zara that I found while here. The jacket, the outfits, everything except the beret. This is how the hotel looked. Very cute. The name of the hotel is La Caserne Chanzy. And
And the reason is that you want them to be on the hill for the water to be drained. So generally you won't see the vineyards on the flat land, and generally on the hills, on the heights. To see ahead of us is Villiers-la-Montagne, is where we're going to have our first tasting. And as you can see, the grapes are starting to give the first leaves.
This is some of the crop for the wine production. And then we arrived at our first stop for the Champagne tour. And our guide gave us some more history before the other part of the tour.
So this Vesle River and the Marne River, they bring this nice microclimate here that allows for the wine making process and for the grapes to grow. Montagne de Reims is mainly clay and Pinot Meunier. Finally, Côte des Blancs, which means literally the white because Chardonnay is a white grape. Okay, that's a white skin, white top. While Pinot Meunier and Pinot Noir, dark skin, white top. Okay.
All right, so now they brought us through historically how they used to press wine, how they do it now, the different storage facilities, how they get rid of the yeast buildup in the bottles of wine. They brought us also down to the cellar where they store the wine after a certain process, and how long they store the wine, how they age the wine, just the whole works from start to finish.
Tradition. So on this one, it's 4 grams of sugar per liter, and it's 4 years of aging. So this one is very classic, easy to drink, and it's a majority of Pinot Noir, and and same amount of Chardonnay and Pinot Meunier.
So now for the fun part. So we did a few tastings. My favorite one was the Blanc de Blanc, which is this one.
White top, white skin. So they say Blanc de Blanc.
Okay.
It comes from the white. Blanc means white.
So it's not sparkling. No.
This one is 100% Chardonnay, and this one was my favorite.
And the dry has more sugar than the brut. Don't ask me why. Just to make it confusing.
I had a few glasses of wine, and then on my way out, there were 2 different tour groups. One of the girls in that group, she saw me and she was like, "Hey," and I waved to her and she was like, "Hey girl, come here." And I went over and she asked if I wanted to join their group. So I was like, sure. So we went to Dom Perignon's grave, and after that, we went to this lookout point. It was so beautiful. They had a picnic area to the right where a lot of the locals just, came to have their picnic. And so this was our tour group. Lovely group. And then this was Brie. Brie and I were both solo traveling. So we hung out and we actually got lunch together as well. So after we left the lookout point, we passed by different producers. So this was Moet and Chandon. And it's lunchtime. So we went to this lovely restaurant, which was Chez François. And the food was so good. So good. This lemonade, very light and refreshing. And Brie I got a Caesar salad, and Brie got a seafood salad as well. This is an overview of the different types of grapes. So Pinot Noir is from those dark grapes, Chardonnay from the white grapes, and the Meunier, that's the leaf for that dark grape also.
Often called the richest street in the world because beneath its paving stones and perfect lawns lie hundreds of millions of bottles, the liquid treasure that built this region's fame. So the next time you raise a glass, you'll know it comes from this unique little world, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, where passion hides behind every spectacular figure and under every meter of this legendary avenue.
So there was Perrier-Jouet.
This road that we're driving on, underneath it are wine cellars with hundreds and millions of bottles of wine. This was the last stop in our Champagne tour, which was Nicolas Feuillatte. This place is huge. Huge. And they are one of the largest producers. Here we did a tour of their facility. They are evidently one of the larger producers. They have more equipment, more heavy duty equipment. They walked us through the process of, how they make the champagne, the Chardonnay, aging, the whole works. And these people have huge tanks, cold rooms. It's a factory, so expected. Oh, and outside as well, they had, like the trucks that bring gas. They have something like that, but for wine. So I thought that was pretty cool. I did the tour on a Saturday, so the factory was closed. However, our guide walked us through the entire, process and everything. And she also showed us videos.
And we start the most important time that will be the maturation on lees. And it will be this lees that develops the flavors and the complexity in champagne. As much as champagne stay in contact with the lees, as much will be complex. Minimum time, by law, 15 months, 15, 1.
All right, this machine is how they get rid of the yeast. So after, the maturation process and everything, the yeast is still left in the bottle. So with this method, they bring the yeast down to the cork section of the bottle, and then they use liquid nitrogen, freeze the top section of the bottle, open it, remove it, and then they add sugar and I don't remember what else they add to the wine. And then they would put that little brown stopper on the wine to sell it and store it.
Because when you do the pump, you can lose some bubbles, okay? A little bit from the pressure. So this is the iconic champagne, it's the signature from the house, the taste of the house. Every year will be the same. 20% of Chardonnay. Chardonnay, the white grape that gives the freshness, elegance. 40% of Pinot Noir that gives the body structure in the blend, and 40% of Meunier. Meunier gives the silkiness, the roundness in the blend. And it's made by 200.
So she was saying that it's improper to pop champagne and have the bubbles and everything if, you're aiming for politeness. But if you're doing celebrations and everything, then, people pop champagne bottles to celebrate.
First time in Paris?
Oui,
Wow!
c'est ma première fois.
Wow, cool! Mais c'est où vous avez appris à parler bien français comme ça? À l'école?
Oui, j'étudie là à mon lycée.
Ah, au lycée? C'est incroyable, comment vous parlez français, c'est fou.
Merci beaucoup.
Non, ouais, incroyable, trop bien. En Jamaïque, quoi. Il n'y a pas beaucoup de Jamaïcains à Paris, il n'y a pas beaucoup. Il n'y a pas une grosse
Tu
communauté.
visites là?
Hein? Non, juste la télé, tout ça, la musique, la télé.
Oh, ok.
Ouais, mais non, jamais, mais c'est... Ouais, c'est... Un jour, bien
Tu
sûr.
dois visiter ce pays, oui.
Bien sûr, c'est obligé.
C'est
La
incroyable.
culture, l'histoire, la Jamaïque.
Le repas.
Une histoire, une culture. C'est beaucoup trop de choses. Non, ils ont une grosse histoire, les Jamaïques. J'aime beaucoup, moi.
Got myself some Chinese and some gelato and then went to bed. I am leaving tomorrow. Am I going home or going somewhere else? Find out in the next vlog.